Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Beyond the Comic Con. It's great to have you all on board. Thank you so much. I've been hitting some milestones in Spotify creators and on the Apple podcast stuff. So thank you to everybody that's been listening, streaming, downloading. Really appreciate it. If you could see your way to giving me a review, that would be amazing because that really helps with all the algorithms and things like that. So make sure you're liking and sharing and all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And yeah, here we are, episode 4. I feel like I'm on a bit of a run now. I don't feel like I've ever seen, other than my DJing stuff, I don't think I ever see anything through to fruition. So this is going really well. And I've got an amazing guest today. It's Mr. Steve Evans, a senior director of product design at Hasbro, looking after Marvel and Star Wars. Now, he's one of us. You will see, if anyone is watching the video version of this on Spotify or YouTube later on, we're going to upload these videos at some point. You will see the backdrop behind Steve. He's got so many toys and figures. He is absolutely one of us as well. So he's within the industry. He's out there meeting people at comic conventions as well. And as we'll find out later on the road, he's a really cool guy. And I think you'll really enjoy this. So let's get it on. Let's get Steve Evans here. Let's go. So here he is, the man himself. Hey, you're looking nervous, but you're also looking fantastic. Steve did ask me whether this was going to be a video call. He has done his hair. So Steve Evans, you're in the house. How you doing, buddy?
I brushed my hair. Not that my wife would like it, or my mum. My mum probably likes it because it's like a 7-year-old's haircut, but my mum hates it because it's getting long. I think I'm going to try and grow it like James May or something like that. But I'm all right, Lee. Nice to see you. My cats are here. They're probably going to fight. Gonna fight? No. Okay, good.
Please do not fight.
Gonna be one of those videos, I'm afraid, but that's what makes it special.
Well, if at some point this makes it to YouTube, I can call it one of those cat videos where cats then pull apart toys, and it will probably go viral at that point.
It'll go viral.
We'll have a Steve Evans in tears because the toys are broken, but I will get lots of views.
They're actually very good. They don't jump up on my toys for some reason. They don't. They know to keep well away from it. I think I've trained them right.
It's the side eye that they get. So for anybody that's listening, if you don't know already, Steve is the senior director of product design at Hasbro for Marvel and Star Wars.
I am.
That is a lot to have on your shoulders, buddy. But before you hit that design studio and there was the bedroom shelves there, what first drew you in? Because firstly and foremost, you are one of us. You are a collector, aren't you? What was the gateway into being a collector?
Blimey. Well, yeah, so I have been playing for 50 years. Well, 50 years, if I'm being honest. 52 years. I've collected for about 35 years, and I've been in the toy industry for 25. So what got me into that 35 years? I think it was by chance, really. I mean, I was always a Star Wars kid at heart. I mean, I got all my Star Wars figures over there, and I was always Star Wars. And far older than I probably should have been, up till about 12, 13, and I kind of dipped out of it and discovered skateboarding and bad breakdancing and the opposite sex and all those kind of things. And I was like,
we hear this a lot.
I can't remember the exact moment, but I do know that I was in Colchester at the time, I lived out in Essex, and I stumbled across this book that I'll actually get. This is going to be bad video because it's like dead air.
Well, no, this is all fine. We've dealt with this before. Adam went and got a bubble tea on me.
Do this a lot. So I stumbled across Steve Sonsuite's from I always get this wrong, from concept to screen to collectible.
Yes.
I don't know where I got it. I don't know why I picked it up. It just arrived in my lap, and I looked through, and I went to the center. And it has quintessential yellow thing. I was like, oh my God, I remember those. I used to have those. And I had my first sort of late teen pang of nostalgia. And I turned the page, and at the bottom of this page, I still remember it, there's a picture of Yak Face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, that wasn't a Star Wars figure. No, that never
Yeah.
existed. It
This
was like,
book is wrong.
I was incredulous, and I was like, oh, what's this guy talking? That's not Star Wars. Where's that from? That's probably from like Star Trek, or it looks like Battlestar Galactica or something. So I started reading and looking, and I discovered that there was this all these little stories and things that, weren't in America and over here, and cardboard Death Star. And then we started going to boot sales, me and my friend Simon, and I started seeing Star Wars figures. This was in like 91, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
91. And I started picking them up, and I just started. And I met people there, and I realized there was this sort of underground community of collectors that were very specifically into Star Wars.
Is this where you start finding about the toy Tonys and the things like that as well?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
why isn't it just one set of toys?
I don't know. So that's how I got into it. This book, and I hadn't met Steve Sonsweet until San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Oh, wow.
And I went up to him, and I get emotional quite a lot. I think a lot of people know that. I went up to him, and I was quite emotional. I was like, Steve, like, your book like got me into this and gave me my career. I'm getting emotional now. And he was like, I said, I just want to introduce myself. And he was so sweet, because he said, I know who you are, Steve. And I was
wow.
I was made up, because like I'd never met him before, and he was such a lovely guy, so sweet, ironically. But yeah, so Steve, thank you, mate. And that's how I got into it. His book.
That's pretty cool. I mean, literally the next question was going to be, who were your inspirations growing up? So I think we can firmly say there, Steve has had.
No, not at all. He's rubbish. I hate him. Yeah, Steve's. Yeah, I liked all my inspirations. Like, oh gosh, I don't know. I was.
I mean, has there ever been any of the designers and creators as well that you've looked towards where you've gone, wow, this maybe shapes how you've then taken your love of collecting on to being a senior director at Hasbro?
I don't know. Well, I studied graphic design originally. I wasn't in industrial design, so I've done a lot of things at Hasbro, from packaging to branding to app development, TV and movie kind of consulting to product. But way back then, I was in a graphic design down in Brighton on the South Coast. And my sort of heroes then were people like Neville Brody, which is a graphic design guy who did, I've always been really admiring of very clean, crisp, meaningful logos and just design, just minimalist design. I like design with a twist, like very clean and simple with just a little, like I don't wear very flamboyant clothes. I like this because it's this Henley is very simple, but it has a nice little texture. So things like that I really like, and I think that's followed me through my career. This sort of like, I like things nice and clean and simple to understand and easy to communicate, but with a little twist. That's why I like little Easter eggs or little things hidden. I like, I don't know, example, Unca Plutt. We did Unca Plutt from Force Awakens. And I worked with Sam Smith, who was the design leading those. And we knew his arm came off in the deleted scene. So I said, just make the arm come off. Don't talk about it, but just make it. So little stupid things like that. So it's like, there's a figure, nice and easy to understand, but it's just a little thing that is different, that just makes it more unusual. So I think that's, yeah. So Neville Brody, who by all accounts isn't a very nice guy, but I don't know. I don't even know if he's still alive, actually. But those sort of designers from the early 90s, graphic designers, have been a big inspiration to me, which is completely non-toy, but the principle and the philosophy.
It's all the same, and it carries through with what you're doing. So where you have this moment of you going, hey, let's just pop off his arm, just the fans will get it. Most of these toy ranges are obviously for adult fans. Do you get any come back at Hasbro where they're like, Steve, we know you love to do these little things, but people are complaining that their arms are coming off on these figures?
I always think the Easter egg is worth the rub. It's like, this is fun. No, I don't think I've had anything like that come back where they think it's purposely broken. It's always a risk, but we make sure it popped in and
It's
popped off.
it's got that the click in there. It's the what is the weirdest or most surprising thing that you've seen as a collector, to ever keep it in its like pristine condition that you've ever got?
Gosh, well, I don't keep mine in. Well, I can see mine's all loose, but I like them pristine. I like them really nice looking.
Yeah.
Actually, the weirdest thing, he'll thank me for this. My mate Simon, who I just mentioned, when we first started, he would go out and we would go to boot sale. So this is his way of keeping something pristine that isn't pristine. So he would go to boot sales, or we would, and we'd pick up figures, and they weren't necessarily beaters. They were reasonable, but some of them were a bit scuffed or whatever. Like he picked up a yak face, I think it was 20 pence, 20p. I can say P, and you understand what I mean.
That now.
20p, and it had like a blue like Sharpie mark on the back. But he used to take those and he used to put them in plastic bags and then in a case and then wrap them in a plastic bag again. And I was like, "What are you doing? They're already beaten up. You can't make them more pristine because they're knackered old figures anyways." But he was like that. He used to wrap every single figure, even if it was beaten up. Even if it had one arm, he would still put it in a box and wrap it up and try and keep it.
Bag, box, bag.
Bag, box, wrapped. He used to wrap. He used to put it in a bag, put it in a box, and then wrap the box with like tape. He was so weird. He really won't thank me. He used to keep all his TV remotes or his hi-fi remotes still in the bag that they came in when they were out of the box, and we would sometimes we'd go around and we'd unwrap them all, and he would lose his mind. Oh my gosh, he'd lose his mind. What are you doing?
You're evil.
He'd keep the little plastic film on the front of the watch, a new watch. He'd get a Swatch watch.
Oh, yeah.
He would leave it and he'd never take it off. Anyway, love you, Simon.
Simon, if you're listening, we are sorry that this has now been broadcasted out there. It's in the wide world. Weird. We're talking about just there, like, so go to car boots, which over in the States, flea markets, I guess, is the kind of
flea markets and swap meets. I think they're called
swap meets.
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of a car boots. It's just more to the point. But any gems? Can you just remember coming across like a 20p or 50p gem? Oh. I mean, it just doesn't happen anymore because the collectors are all there.
I've told this story before, but I haven't told you, so I'll tell it again. So Simon and I used to get up on a Sunday about 5:30. We'd go to the boot sales like 6:30 when everyone would open and get in there. And we did that for weeks and weeks and weeks, all through the summers. And one day we woke up and it was peeing down with rain. It was slashing down. It was terrible. And I rang up Simon and said, "You come in?" He goes, No, I can't be bothered. So I said, "Well, I'll go." I jumped in my car, went to this boot sale. It was something farm, like St. Anne's Farm or Pear Tree Farm. It was something farm. I turn up. It's usually 20p to park to get in. And the guy said, "You come in, there's no one here. It's like 4 cars. Have at it." So I came in, it was slushy, it was muddy. And I ran around. I was like running around really quick, trying to keep myself dry. And people think I'm making this up. The last car was a kid with his mum and his brother's old Star Wars stuff. He had everything. Everything. And I picked that up for a very good price. It was his choice. I asked him how much he wanted. He gave me a number.
Yeah.
And we negotiated, and his mum's like, "It's up to you, darling, whatever you want to do." So I got, all my Star Wars figures that I have loose are from that purchase because they were still squeaky. They had, there was an ice cream tub with all the figures in, and I didn't look through them. There's so much. I just got them and went home.
What do you want for the lot? Yeah.
Took them all out. And all the weapons were in the bottom, even the Cloud Cast pilot bomb. It was all there. It was all beautiful. He had almost everything. The only 2 figures I've had to buy, and I haven't loose, I haven't got the final Cape Jawa, was I had to buy Yak Face and Blue Snag. Everything else he had. He had ships, he had records, he had blasters. And so I used that to help buy and sell. I bought and sold Star Wars figures when I was down in Brighton because I was a poor student. My mum and dad didn't have much money. So I kind of, that helped me through college. So yeah, I did get a good deal.
You did.
Like, it's insane. And I treasure them and I'd never get rid of them. And I remember that story and I remember the day. And when we got back,
I mean,
Simon picked me up.
yeah, Simon.
He goes, "Did you get anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a few stuff. Come over and have a look." So he came over.
Oh.
I remember his face as I opened my door, my bedroom door, and I had it all laid out on my bed. He was like, "I was sick." But yeah, good days. Yeah, you don't find you sometimes find them, but I miss those. I do miss the old boot sale days. Now it's all when you go to boot sales, it's all like proper market traders selling magazines and
People know the worth these days, or they
yeah,
perceive to
yeah,
know the worth. There's a lot of sellers, I think, that are going, well, I've got these figures, and you're like, they're not
they're
worth
rare.
anything. Yeah. This one's in a box. It's still not great, I'm afraid. Sorry, but
I do miss boot sales.
yeah. Old school boot sales where you actually could. Yeah, I mean, I used to buy Star Wars figures and things, and yeah, flip them and sell them and keep my collection and stuff. And it did exactly the same with those and comic books. So yeah. So hardcore collector, we're going to car boots in the rain. We're getting absolute bargains. How does that Steve end up being the senior director of product design for Marvel and Star Wars at Hasbro? I mean, what is the take us behind that journey to start with, because you've been at Hasbro nearly 20 years, right?
No, 25 years. This is
25 years.
Yeah, 26th year, yeah. Yeah, so it's a lot of it's luck, a lot of it is opportunity, and a lot of it is love. I hope it's clear that I love what I do.
I think just looking behind you.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to do talks at universities, and I just did one recently, and it's all about do a job you love and you never have to work a day in your life, the Confucius thing, and how doing something you love is great because you have to work a lot in your life, and but don't be afraid to take risks and fail. And failure is part of innovation. If you're not failing, you're not creating anything new, therefore you are not innovating. So it was a mix. So my story goes, I was always into graphic design, as I told you. I always wanted to do something in movies or special effects or things like that. And as I got into toys, I was interested in toys and movies and things like that. It wasn't I want to be a toy designer. It was just movies and
just like this pop culture stuff.
Yeah, pop culture stuff. That's the word I want. Thank you. I was into skateboarding and breakdancing badly, as I said, but it's just, I like the graphics. And 1999, Phantom Menace, new Star Wars trilogy coming out, and there was a job at Hasbro for a concept designer, it was. And I applied for it, and I got turned down. I didn't get an interview, and I wrote back to them and said something along the lines of arrogantly, like, hey, no, I think I could be really good there. I know I'm not a industrial designer, but I have ideas and I like story and I have love for your brands, and give me another chance. And then another job came up for a packaging designer, and they came to me and said, oh, do you want to apply? And I was like, yeah. I was living in, where was I? I was living in Harlow in Essex, and they're down in Heathrow. So I went in and I had an interview, and I always have this belief of put something on the table. So whenever I go to interviews, and I haven't been to many, two.
I was going to say.
I always like to do a project for them or show them something that for them, because an interview should be about them more than the person who's being interviewed. So I did a project on a game, and I said, I like this game. I would redesign like this. And it got me the job. So once I'm in, I'm then doing branding and packaging, and I did that. And then we were doing Action Man packaging, which again, someone knows what I'm talking about. Fantastic. Doing Action Man. And then we were doing a cartoon called Alpha Teens on Machines, Atom, with Jetix, which was Disney. And I was involved in that. And they didn't have anyone to do the style guide, which is a booklet that shows all the logos, all the colors, all the characters and backgrounds, and you can create T-shirts and things like that. And I said, well, I'll do it. So I started doing style guides, and I really enjoyed that. And then that evolved into me running Monopoly creatively for 3 years. So I was involved in redesigning the Monopoly board and Mr. Monopoly and doing world championships, and we talked about movies and TV shows with that. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. TV shows, that's cool. So it's like I like this idea of a brand story and how you evoke it in packaging and product and t-shirts and lunchboxes, and now movies and TV. So I did some work on Transformers Rescue Bots and Chuck and Friends, which was like a little preschool thing, and that brought me over here because they were like, you've got to come over here. So I moved my family over, did that for a few years. Then I did some app development, doing preschool development stuff with partners at the time on Sesame Street. And then someone came up to me, my boss at the time, and he said, hey, there's a new Star Wars trilogy coming out, 25th. This is in 2014. I was like, oh, wow. And he said, you should apply to run it, to get that job. And I was like, I don't know anything about plastic though. He says, no, you don't need to. You're surrounded by people that know, experts on plastic. He said, what I like is story, brand, and you have a sort of a jack of all trades approach, which is like, packaging is as important as product, as important engagement, as important as marketing. It's the whole thing. So I went for that, and went through a number of rounds of discussions with that, and then got that job. So it was. I'm really grateful for Hasbro to give me the opportunity to try all these things. I catch myself saying, I've been working for Hasbro for 25 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And I often think, oh, is that the best thing I should have done? Because most people move around and get different jobs, but I've never been bored. And that's my biggest thing. When I get bored and I'm out. But Hasbro have never made me bored. So I love it. I
think that says a lot about yourself as well there, mate. You literally, I know you've saying you've been there for a long time, but you're actually, sounds like you've always been putting your neck out to go, I'll do that. I'll give that a go. I can create some more hours in the day. Give me these star guides. I'll get that done. So kind of hats off. You are the master of your own destiny in this one. So you have taken yourself from that part to where you are now. So you shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm extremely lucky. You've definitely driven that. And the best part, like you say, going to these universities and talking to people, the way you've driven that is through passion by it. Yeah. And, very lucky to do what we love doing. So,
yeah, it's weird. I'm now 52 and I'm only just starting to kind of work it out a little bit. So it's I find it quite humbling that someone wants to listen to what I say. I go out and do these talks, and these I'm not even going to call them kids. They're 19, 20. So they're young adults, upstarts, whatever we want to call them. They come up to me and they go, oh, that was really useful. I never thought of failing like that. And I'm like, I think today's society, in a way, we've always been brought up to always succeed. And it's it's hard. You look at anybody that has made a difference, and a couple of examples I used was Dyson. He did famously 1,527 prototypes before he could get the Dyson vacuum bagless to work. Walt Disney, the godfather of my brand, went bankrupt. He was losing money hand over fist, couldn't make it, but he never gave up, and he realized that you can learn from your failings. And only by failing can you learn. And only by learning can you get better. So if you're, and I tell everybody, I tell my kids, they hate it.
Dad.
Going through your life at this point, bearing in mind your life is pretty safe. You're safe at home, or you're safe at the university. You're not losing jobs. You're not. And if it's all going smooth sailing for you, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it right. You're not trying. You're not trying to experiment. You should be failing. And you should be failing fast and failing bravely. And knowing that you're safe, it's okay, because that'll build in bravery into you. So when you are older and things are more risky, you can make better decisions, and you know what failure looks and smells like, and you can choose when to do it and when not to do it. Anyway, it's getting very deep. We're here to talk about plastic. But I really believe in failure. I'm a big proponent on failure. I like failing. So when I do things that don't work, I am all right with that. That is totally fine. I relish it. Maybe it's the Britishness in me.
I reckon so. Yeah, we learn from it. We move forward.
Yeah.
We park it.
Yeah.
And it's great to see like some of the design stuff that comes through from Hasbro, which obviously you're pioneering and doing, like the got the Marvel Legends with the little comic books in them now and stuff, and they look, as you know, I hang out with the guys at Indoban Toys, and we get to see these things on the shelves, and they just look phenomenal, from figure all the way to the artwork on the box and everything like that, and then bringing back the Revenge of the Sith, those old boxes with the Black Series figures, like absolutely, it looks amazing. But what is the toughest part of that design day? Is it nailing those hyper realistic actor likenesses? Is it getting the boxes perfect? Because over the years, like certainly I'm Black Series collector, and we see those boxes change periodically over time for, I don't know whether it's for different reasons or just because you've changed the box company. How does all that evolve?
I mean, so in terms of like the packaging design, it's just refreshing. It's just kind of giving it a look. Excuse me. Sometimes we'll want to. I have this philosophy of like, it's all very well and good, the people that have been collecting forever, but you also want to invite new people. And sometimes in my opinion, if you design something that looks the same and you've got hundreds of them, it's quite intimidating for new collectors to come in. That's why I like changing the look of things once in a while. I also like doing collections within collections, because we need to invite people into these communities.
Yeah.
And whilst it's really cool knowing there's loads of stuff to collect, sometimes it can be like, where do I start? Oh my God, like, where do I start? Like, I personally, I only collect retro stuff. My psyche, I don't collect vintage. I don't collect Black Series or Marvel Legends, because like, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's intimidating to me. I couldn't get into that. If I let myself go and get OCD about getting everything, it's damaging to me.
Yeah.
So I like to mix it up a bit so people can come in when they want to. So it's almost like an open door. So that's a little bit of philosophy on the packaging side. But the most difficult aspect, I think, of the designer's day, or my day, or our days, are making decisions, choices, not even decisions, choices. Because like Marvel, I think Jesse Falcon's going to tell me off now. I think there are 8,000, rough and tough, Marvel characters in the Marvel universe. In Star Wars, I don't know what that is. Probably about 2,000, maybe 1,500. Yeah, a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot, and it's like,
start going into Clone Wars and all of that.
I'm probably way off. It's probably about the same. Like, making those choices is really difficult, because there's only so many you can make in a year. The size of the audience, the consumer, equals the size of the things that we make. That's all businesses do that. You make as many pieces for the audience you're looking for. And you try and make a few more and bring more people in, and as they grow, then you grow. But it's like choices. Like, do I do Carson Teva, or do I do someone else? And it's like, sometimes you have to choose. It's like, whichever one you choose, you've lost. It's the wrong choice. So that is the hardest one. It's like choice, because I know I'll never win. Like, I'll never make the right choice. Whatever choice I make, there will always be people who didn't want that. So that's probably the most difficult thing, because you try and make the choices that the most people want, but sometimes you like a little weird choice, like Crystar or Rom the Space Knight, on Marvel Legends. It's like,
which flew out. People wanted Rom. As soon as Rom was like announced, that was like, everyone needed a Rom, because you just don't see ROMs.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like an art, not a science. There's this portfolio approach where it's like, okay, you do the ones most people will love, but they don't get boring. But like, you need to put some chili flakes on your salt and pepper. You need some weird ones, sort of off kilter, left field, or whatever you want to call it. So again, I enjoy that as well. So, but I do know the hardest thing in my day is just choice, because of whatever choice I make, it will be the wrong one. And
you're going to upset somebody along the line.
I've learned by my age now that that's okay, because it's not going to change. Like I'll never.
You just have to
a choice argument ever.
Yeah, and to go back to what you were saying about the boxes and refreshing and changing as well, it's kind of like what Stan Lee used to say quite famously, like, you know, any comic that's on that shelf can be somebody's first ever comic. So you want to bring them into, you know, with the stories they were always trying to tell us, potentially a story within a story. And again, it's bringing new readers or bringing new collectors into that whole thing. So yeah, very cool, man. One thing you back to the hilt of these HasLab projects, they appear to be quite massive undertakings, and obviously reaching out to the fans, you need to get that fan support behind you as well. Has there ever been any kind of pushback from doing these HasLabs? Have you had any like funny on stage studio stories or anything like that you've had to work with?
HasLabs are interesting because, like, I was there at the beginning of the HasLabs. I'm not going to say I invented HasLabs, but I was certainly part of the crew that kind of said, "How do we bring? It was the barge. It was like
the barge,
bring the barge to fans. Everyone wants it. It's this urban myth of like, well, they'll never do the barge. It's too big. It's too." And we're like, yeah, it is big. It's huge. That's sitting on a retail shelf. That's a lot of space. There's a risk there in terms of it's going to be expensive. I think it was $500 back then in 2018. And it might go to closeout. And closeout is the enemy of a toy line, right?
Yeah.
It 100% is. So we're like, how do we do it? And I said, well, how expensive is it going to be? Beep, 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 beep. That's my calculator. Beep, beep, beep. People do we need to make sure that it's worth our while to make? Because we're a business, you know. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, we need, I think it was 8,000 something. Beep, beep, beep. How do we get 8,000? And then we looked at, well, this crowdfund thing seems to be pretty cool. Why don't we do that? Let's do that. And I remember we went to leadership and they were like, what? Crowdfund? What? And we're like, no, what it does, it reduces the risk of creating something that will just kind of just sit and gather dust on the shelf, because we know if there's enough people that want it, then we'll make it for them, and then we'll only make that number, and that makes
they're pre-ordering it. It's a given.
It's not a limited edition because anyone can buy it as long as you're in the market. You know, back then, you know, ones that weren't, like the UK and Europe weren't in it. So it's. But I remember the sort of the weirdest thing of that experience of doing it and launching it, and that was one of my proudest moments, launching it at New York Toy Fair with Andy on the stage, and people were coming in and like hugging and crying because they'd never thought they could get it, and they eventually understood what crowdfunding was, because it's a little bit of like, what is it, what do I have to do? And it's like, okay, do I get charged? No, you don't get charged unless it funds. And was the journey of a crowdfund. All right, so when you launch it goes loads of people come in. Then it'll plateau.
Right. Yeah.
ages and ages and ages. And then right at the end, it goes boom. So like, this bit is very stressful. Especially in the first one. It's like, oh my goodness, what have we done? But it's just the way human nature works. It's like, I keep trying to tell people, I said, if you're interested, back it. Because you don't have to. You're not charged till the end, and you can always cancel. And if it doesn't make it, you don't get charged. But I understand people psychologically need to understand what it is. They need to save up for it and things like that. So I get why it is, but it's the same. It's the same model each and every time. But the first time
they need clearance with their partners usually as well. That's
if they tell them. If you tell them. No, most don't. What's this big box? I don't know.
You know, we all know the rule of divide by 3, 4, 5, whatever, to make it work.
that first HasLab experience was new, and I liked it, but it was scary, it was stressful. I was like, oh gosh, but yeah, you know, most of them are funded, not all of them, and that's okay, because like, if not enough people want it, what's the point in making it, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and the proof is in the pudding. As soon as people do want it, you'll see those numbers come in. Do you get, so now you've done quite a few of them and you've seen them, like we said it's exactly the same as putting an event on for a party night or something like that. That first lot of tickets goes, and exactly what you
Oh,
it's
right,
that
yeah.
flat line, and then it's right at the last minute where people are like, "Am I going to? I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out. Oh, I can't do it." And then they poof and they jump in.
Right.
Do you Hasbro have sort of numbers now where you think, right, if we hit that now, we can roughly estimate
Yeah, I think that, yeah,
30% on top after
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
After
couple
the
of
number of
weeks?
times we've done it, there is a certain, we know certain percentages and how it acts normally.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can sort of chart it out a little bit more. Doesn't make the journey any easier. It's still,
No, no.
it's still nerve-wracking, but hey, I could be selling insurance. No offense to anyone that sells insurance, but like at the end of the day, it's still making toys and collectibles and things. So it's fun. I like a little bit of roller coaster in my life, believe it or not. But yeah,
Keeps things interesting, doesn't it?
it does.
And
It does.
and the premise of this podcast, it's beyond the Comic Con. So, and you just mentioned there when you launched the barge it was the New York
New York Toy Fair.
Toy
Yeah.
Fair, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see on your socials you are attending conventions globally. It's always a surprise if you're not at a certain con, and I think I've kind of missed you at a couple of the last ones. But so you're popping out, you're attending all these conventions globally, and often meeting the fans face to face. What's been your favorite interactions with the fans? Or least favorites. I mean, we were talking about where's my figure?
I have a lot. Yeah, listen, the vast majority of people are very pleasant. When you're face to face with them, maybe it's because I'm 6'3", I don't know, but most of them are like, "Ah," they're very polite, which is great. You know, the sort of the social media warriors don't sort of tend to go to those, which is fine. But yeah, most people are not. Some people are very passionate. I will never,
Yes.
ever ask anyone to apologize for passion, like ever. Like people get very passionate. I remember one guy, he was absolutely adamant that we should have the same hands, left and right, in all our figures. And he was getting quite irate, and his friend was saying, "Oh, sorry, calm down, calm down."
Yeah.
Listen, thanks for the feedback. I said, but like, we don't walk around with our hands the same each time. Like when you're punching, you're not always it's not necessarily natural. But I hear you. So it's more about listening. It's just knowing that you're listening to people, and you may not agree with what they say, and you may have information that disproves their theory. But you know, that's fine. But the vast majority are lovely, and I have too many instances of good times, whether it's I'll go back to the barge. When we had the barge and we went to San Diego, I met a young lad, Gavin. I think he was 8 at the time. 16, yeah, so he would have been 8. And I gave him a barge. We had like a little competition on the panel, and he stood up, and I gave him the book, the barge book, and he was like, "Wow, my God!" And I said, "Do you know what? You need a barge to go with that. You can have the barge." And he was like made up.
Oh my
And he
word.
was crying. His wife was crying, and we've stayed friends. And I saw him at San Diego this year. He's like nearly as tall as me now, and like we stay in touch. And just those things are like really special. And the things I love the most is when I see families coming together and dressing up in cosplay, and enjoying the fandom together, regardless of the brand. That really warms my heart, because I'm a little bit jealous as well. Because like while my wife and my kids appreciate what I do and they're kind of interested, none of them are really geeky. Bethany was. There was a time when Bethany was mad into Force Awakens. She was Daisy Ridley, Rey. She was Rey everything. And here's the story. So
Here we go.
at Halloween, before The Force Awakens released, right, where obviously I knew Rey wielded a lightsaber, and I knew about Luke and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted to go as Rey to Halloween, so she got a Rey costume that had just come out, and for some reason she wanted to take the lightsaber. I had a Luke, and she was like, "Can I take the lightsaber?" I was like, "No, you can't take the lightsaber." She's like, "Why not?" I said, "You can't take the lightsaber, just in case somebody went, oh, Steve's daughter's got the light. Oh, Ray's got the lightsaber. So it's,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, there's a picture. I've got a picture of her with it, but she was not allowed to take it out. But she's kind of geeky. And now my other twin daughter, Sophia, is probably more geeky than her. She's into a lot of anime stuff, and she likes all this kind of stuff. But how did I get onto this? But no, my family isn't. We're not all geeks together. We have very different sort of tastes and things. But so to see families geeking out together at cons and things is just the best. And then I also like doing conventions, but I also like doing what we call store cons, which is where we'll go. We took the gunship to a local store. You know, I came to visit you in Indomar. Like, I like doing that. I think that's really important. And then I also like even going to fans' homes. Like,
yes, yes.
I just
crashing out.
I think he said when I was like, I'm coming back to England, we're going to hang out in Demand, and he was like, oh, I'm in Ipswich. I'll buy you a beer. And I was like, why don't we meet up? You got a collection? He's like, yeah, I got this collection. It's only small. And I said, I'll come round. I know Ipswich. I used to support Ipswich Town when I was a little nipper. I used to live in near Clacton. I turn up at his house, and we went out for I think it was a harvester. We went out for a harvester meal, had a couple of drinks, and he showed me around his collection, which was amazing. And we watched a movie. I think what did we watch? Oh, we watched Skeleton Crew. We watched a couple of episodes of Skeleton Crew, and I just hung out at his house. Never met the guy in my life, but I am appreciative of people supporting our lines. Like, they put a lot of love and effort into the collection. They don't have to collect our stuff. They don't have to, and some of them collect our stuff and other stuff. But like, I'm very appreciative of the time and effort and money that people put into this. I want to show that's the least I can do, is like acknowledge them and like thank them and just travel a little bit to go and see them. I get a lot out of it as well, and he seemed pretty pleased. So anyway, I like it. It's a community. I do like it, and it's I like the one-on-one stuff a lot.
Yeah, I definitely feel that over the years, so unless it's maybe I'm getting this wrong. Maybe I'm maturing over the years, and I'm more interested in the behind the scenes stuff. So as a kid, I would have watched a cartoon. I would have watched Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, and it would just be like, this is amazing, and and Batman the animated series, and you know, and it goes on, and Star Wars and things. And then you get to the point of going, well, who's the voice of that, and who is it that's behind that? And suddenly we're talking about voice actors and talking about Steve Evans, director of product design at Hasbro. And I think maybe it's as you get older, or is it the times that we live in? Because I know my kids, like you say, they're certainly into anime, and they know about the voice actors. But I think maybe at that time I wouldn't have been so aware. Maybe social media has helped with that as well.
I think you're right. I think it's a bit of both. I think there's a natural curiosity, which is a human nature anyway, but there was no way of knowing that in those days unless you got a CVG magazine, or I don't think they have it in the Encyclopedia Britannica, who's the voice of the Joker in Batman. But now you can get information is everywhere, and you can get it. And I think as we grow older, we're more interested in how things are made and the tapestry of things like that. So I think it's a bit of both. So I think you're right.
Yeah, because I think I used to pick up like a Wizard magazine and comic magazines, and they would have their toy, which then kind of led on to the Robot Chicken kind of vibe, didn't it? They used to have those strips in there with all that stuff, and that was how I would then learn about who these people are behind the scenes. So we're talking about obviously figures and toys. Have you ever been any kind of weird out there figures you've been given at conventions? Is there I spoke to Mark Hamilton from Ash on a previous podcast. He's got about 4 or 5. We all know Mark. Yeah, very loves the vintage collection as well. With a fury, loves it.
I wouldn't have known.
But he's been given figures of himself. Have you had anything like that, or any kind of weird things? I know that I've been interviewing someone on stage, and they've been given a taxidermy rat of the character that they play, and so like just some weird stuff. Like any kind of out there things. You're looking behind you now. There isn't a taxidermy rat back there, is there?
I haven't got stuff. People do give me things. There was one. Where is it? I have a little shelf down here. It's quite a small one of my sort of special things, but like a lot of customizers. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Like someone made me this sort of custom figure.
Oh wow.
I can't remember the name of it. I'm really sorry.
I
always get confused because my Star Wars name is Neppet Snave, which is Stephen Evans backwards. And I always talk about Neppet Snave. So when he gave me this, it has a different name, and I go, "Oh, it's Neppet Snave," and he was like, "No, it's not." And like, people make me little custom little BB-8 droids and
droids. That's really cool.
Just things people are always giving me like little things that a little kid made. Yeah, just weird stuff that I have around, but no one's yet given me a figure of myself. No, they haven't. I'm just trying to think. No, I'm just looking over there. There's stuff everywhere, but yeah, people give me stickers and they make me stuff, which is great. I love it, and I try and keep all of them. Because they're all little stories. Every little thing behind me, every single thing, I can usually pick one up and go, "Oh, that's that story. I remember this." Blah blah blah. So that's very therapeutic as I come down here and look and just want to reminisce and think of stories. Whether it's my ET biscuits that I used to get from Thoughtless Oaken, Lipton's corner shop, and cola flavored. Oh, lovely. But
I know exactly what you mean. I've got a few little bits, and my partner is very much a sort of a clean house kind of person, and I'm a collector. So you can see where we, you know, and it's like, do you need that? And I'm like, someone's given me this, and this means this, and it was given to me at this time. So yeah, or the in my shelf in the living room, I've got some Batman bubblegum stickers. You know, still tops. They're in there. Do we need this old bubblegum from the 80s? Yes, we do. Because it takes me back. Certain things can instantly take you back, like music and like toys and like these gifts. They can take you back to a moment in time, which is.
I get taste and smell. Smell, I think, is probably the strongest. Like even you just talking about the bubble gum and things, and I remember what it smelled like.
And it has that dusty texture to it as well. Like all of that stuff just comes flying back.
Wax packets.
Yeah.
Lovely. It's just it's lovely. You can capture that sometimes. Yeah.
And are you still, when you're at cons and you're shopping around, is there still a holy grail that you're missing at the moment that's needed in the?
Oh, that's. I mean, I lost the holy grail. I was bidding for a Star Wars Bradley. Is it Bradley? It's not Milton Bradley. That's the game. I think it might be. There's a Star Wars watch that I had as a kid. It's a little square one with C-3PO and R2-D2 on it. And it's blue, and it had animated TIE fighters, and you press the button and it would do the Star Wars theme tune in like 8-bit kind of.
I know exactly the watch you're talking about.
And I've been looking for it for years, like 15 years, and then one came up on eBay and it was working, and I bid, and I bid reasonably high, but it went for a lot of money, and I missed out on it. But I've got
sorry, I keep making you get up out of your seat to grab. Oh,
something in here. Don't show my address. I got something in here, another grail that I will be opening out on my Instagram page probably at the weekend, Mr. Stevie 18, in case you're interested. But
there we go.
I've got those Star Wars grails. I got Lord of the Rings, Ralph Bakshi 1978 movie figure grails that are ridiculously expensive. The Gandalf. I want a Gandalf, but like you look at him and his hands flake. So it's I want them out of the pack, but I want them just pristine. And it that's my rule set. It's like pristine, loose, because I can't afford, it's irresponsible for me to spend, but I want them really, really nice looking. And it stops me just buying any old thing. It's my rule set. It's my throttle. It kind of keeps me where I should be, because it can get out of control.
Oh, it really can. Yeah. So yeah, now I like that a lot actually. So yeah, the toy is fulfilling its destiny. It's coming out of the box, but it still needs to look nice.
Yeah. Like I've just opened it. Yeah, that's what I like.
And how important are conventions to you guys, Hasbro as a whole, with those being those touch points? I mean, kind of see you at all conventions across the world in all the different departments. How big a part do they play in the business overall?
Huge part. I think it's twofold. I mean, like at the moment, we've done the tour. We've done San Diego, done New York. The guys shot over to MCM up in Excel, but then they've just finished in Lucca. I think we're going down to Brazil. I think, which is the biggest convention on the planet. I think the XX. What's it called? XXCP, whatever it's called. Brazil is huge. So, on one hand, it's really good for the designers. It's a little bit of I wouldn't say a jolly, but it gets them out. It gets them out and gets them to see things. And it's like, thank you for working like really hard. Go to this country and experience and have fun and, enjoy yourself. But then on the flip side of that, it's like, and soak up everything. Soak up all new trends, things that you see, soak up fan insight. Social media is helpful with that. Every day I'm constantly on social media and like absorbing thoughts and feelings, but to have it face to face in person is you get a different, there's a different feel to it. So yeah, it's we enjoy it and we get a lot out of it, and it really does inspire a lot of thinking as well. It's not the only insight we get, because like I might go to a convention and I might talk to, oh my gosh, let's say I observe and absorb 50 people's points of view. I talked a lot more than that, but you kind of really resonates. That doesn't mean that's the right decision. Like, because they're all different. Remember, choices. They're all different.
All choices, yeah.
All different opinions, and some are more passionate than others. Some are blinded by their passion in terms of what they want, and so you have to absorb it there. You have to bring it in from proper research that we do through our department. We bring it in through social media, and you kind of create a picture, and you try and find the threads that are actually truths. Like truths for the wider community, the wider audience, the wider consumer, because everyone wants what they want, and everyone wants different things, which is why I'll never win. But that's fine.
Has there ever been a moment? Because you are incredibly active on your own social media accounts. You're like, aside from Hasbro, you're doing all of your own stuff as well, and then you've got the Hasbro side of things. Has there ever been one moment where a fan or someone has interacted with you, either through your own personal stuff or at Hasbro, and you've gone, oh my gosh, Eureka, yes, why haven't I done this figure? Like, is there that one big one?
Oh, there are some things, yeah. Like, I'll never say what they are because but insight is like, sometimes, listen, I being at conventions and being online and using social media is really important to us. And I welcome feedback, and I know I get good, bad, and ugly. I call it the good, bad, and the ugly. The good feedback is where it goes, oh, Steve, you're great. Oh, well done. The team's done this. It's fantastic. It looks great. I'm like, thank you. I love that. That helps the team feel good, and it helps. But it doesn't teach us anything. Remember when I'm talking about failings.
Yeah.
Bad is like, oh, you missed this, or this is like, why did you do it like this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm thinking of this, and they're the things to me that are really useful. Because like, oh, well, that's a good point. Let's look into that. And that's helpful. Because if you're already doing really great, okay, so what? But if there's some things we miss, and we always miss things, like we're only human and things happen, that's really good. The ugly are the ones that just go at it, and it's just and it's not useful, it's not helpful, and it's like, okay,
just noise.
I'm not going to be nasty back or anything like that, but it's you always get that, and that's fine. You can't accept one without the other two. So So I enjoy getting feedback. But yeah, there's been some ideas that have gone around that's helped inspired. But most of the time, people come up with ideas that we're already working on. So
That's kind of got to be hard when someone's like, "Hey, I don't know, like bringing back the Revenge of the Sith packaging or something like that." And oh, wouldn't it be great if we saw that again? You're kind of like,
I like that. It's like, just you wait. There is one. I won't tell you what it is because I can't tell you what that is.
No, of course.
There is one thing that we're working on that we're going to probably announce. I don't know when it's going to be, but there's one person that just on and on about it, and it's like, there you go. And it's not because of them. It's just like it was just the right time to do it.
It's the right time for that thing.
Like, whoa! But that creates a story for them. You see, that creates something. Like they'll remember that for the rest of their life. When they get that, whatever it is, they'll go. In 20, 30 years ago, I used to go on about this all the time, and then they made it. It's like Gavin and his barge. He'll remember winning that barge for the rest of his life. And if that's
my gosh, yeah,
that kickstarts a story for people, because collecting to me is all about stories. So if we can help kickstart a story for people, that gets them in. So that's why I like it when we give things away. That's why I like when we interact on social media and in conventions, because it gives people a story to remember, and it gives their collection more meaning, and will encourage them to collect more and get more out of it, because you get a lot out of it. You get a lot out of it, and you meet other people, and you create a community, and you make loads of friends. I made loads of people in this community. It's incredible. But
yeah, that is one of the good things definitely about Hasbro that I see, is they are very community driven. They are talking to people in the community. They've got people like you on board that are actually out there looking. So they're not this faceless corporation that's just pummeling out toys all the time.
That's right. I think we do a pretty good job at it, to be honest.
I would say so, yeah.
I mean, we enjoy it. Everyone enjoys it. Not everyone likes it, or not everyone needs to do it. There's plenty of people. There's loads of people in the team that aren't on social media and don't have a face that are key to whatever we do. But they choose. They choose not to get involved in that. That's totally fine. That's okay. I will. Everyone's different.
Each to their own, isn't it?
We're all a piece of the puzzle for that. We're all each a piece that fits the whole thing. So.
And is there a white whale for you at the moment? Is there a character or a vehicle that you've always wanted to tackle? And you don't have to answer that, just in case it's something that's upcoming, and or it's going to jinx it as such, But
there is one, and I won't tell you what it is. I can't. When it happens, I will let you know.
Well, we'll see it on a real chat.
It'll be flipping obvious, to be fair, but yeah, there is a white whale.
Good. And you often talk about the lifelong love of toys. How do you keep that personal passion fueled with such a demanding job? So yeah, I'm the same. I'm in this pop culture world, and I love it, but you're constantly working in it, and I don't know how I love it still. But I know I do. Any
I don't know how. I mean, it's got to be authentic.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I get paid for what I do, but I don't get paid to do all of this extra stuff. It's just I get paid for doing what I love doing. Right. So it's authentic. That's number one. So it's easy. It's emotionally easy for me to do it, to start doing all the stuff. Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, like I'm really introverted. Like I get exhausted. Like I really enjoy talking to you, Lee, and I love it. But I'll go upstairs and I'll be like I'll be deflated and my energy's gone. I have a lot of energy, annoyingly, people most of the time. But it's I'm quite introverted. So the lifelong love of toys is something that is inside me and is natural and authentic, I hope. But it's something I have to work hard on. like sometimes I have to push myself, like, oh, I've got to go to the convention. Oh my goodness, how am I going to deal with speaking to all these people? How am I going to keep my energy levels up? Because then I got a meeting the next day, and that's really difficult for me. But I just, as soon as I accept that and know when to stop and give myself calm. So like if I go to a convention and then everyone's like, oh, we're going out for dinner, I'll be like, nope. I'm going back to the hotel. I'm just going to hang out because I know I've got a meeting in the morning. And they're like, oh, well, I've got it too. And I'm like, yeah, but that's you, which is great. Yeah. I need to recharge. So it's a tricky thing to do, but I love doing it. Does that answer the question? I don't know whether that really does. How do
I think so. Do you know what? I will agree with you 100% on that. I'm exactly the same. And as a host and a DJ, everyone expects you to be the life and soul of a party and stuff. And while I'm working, while I'm doing the thing I'm doing, I am, and I love it. But in recent years, everyone's like, come on, let's keep going. And I'm like, thank you. I'm out. I need to rest up. I've got another 2-3 days of con, and certainly the biggest thing here for me is my relationship with food at conventions. Like I saw conventions as like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go have burgers and whatever. And now I have to have a new relationship where I take a bit of fruit and some Huel and I'm just trying to like, cause they were, the energy levels and you have to manage that. So now I'm 100% with you on that, mate. And sometimes the power of saying no as well can.
I mean, we talk the lifelong love of toys, and as we all know, love takes work.
Yes,
love takes work,
and you have to look after yourself.
Yes,
first and foremost. So, love yourself, Steve, because we all love you as well, mate.
What about Steve?
So we're coming towards a bit of a close now on the things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, mate. I really appreciate this.
It's a pleasure.
I've got a couple of quick fire questions, some that you have already answered as well. So I'm going to skip over them because I sent through some. But favorite vintage Kenner figure?
Quick fire. I am a sucker for Hammerhead. I've got to get him. I'm a sucker for Hammerhead, and I'll tell you why. Because I love the sculpt, but most of all, when my fingers.
Yeah, look at this.
I used to be able to jam my finger in his neck. I used to walk around like that.
Oh, you could just.
Oh, that I used to do that. I used to walk around the house just with like my fingers. But that I love. I love Hammerhead. And you will always be Hammerhead to me. None of this modal blah blah blah. Hammerhead.
Yes.
Right, next one, go.
One Marvel character that you always have on your desk. I see this is Star Wars.
Who have I got on my desk? I always have Iron Man. I have is it Extremis? I always get confused with I have Iron Man. Now it's weird because I have him for a reason as well, which is stupid.
You can't just do that. Come on.
No, he's not my favorite. I'm a big Captain America fan. He's my favorite. He's my fave. I always like the Boy Scouts. I've had this conversation before with lots of people. I like Luke. I like Han, but I like Luke. I like Superman, not Batman. I like Batman, but I like Superman. I always go for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm definitely Cap versus Iron Man, but I like the design of Iron Man because he's very symmetrical. And so I'll be honest with you, when I get a little bit confused at work or it's like a lot going on, I'll often just play with him because he's symmetrical. I must have. It just focuses my eyes and my brain just because I like the way he looks. So yeah, I have him just on my left there, always in like a little bowl. I always grab him and just.
I did exactly what I got asked the same. I did an interview a while back, and they were like, "Batman or Superman?" And I'm a DC guy, and I was like, exactly the same. I'm a Batman guy, but I love the big Boy Scout, the goodness of Superman, and the blues and the reds and the colors. So, yep. I was going to ask carded or loose for display, but I think that is very obvious, my friend.
I have one carded figure in the Authentic. Yeah, I have a Princess Leia. That's my only Star Wars carded original '78 one I've got. But yeah, look,
Loose.
gotta let them breathe, haven't you, Carson? Yeah.
There he goes. And then finally, the most underrated figure of all time. Underrated, an underrated figure, or maybe even a toy line that you want to just go for. Just like, oh, they just deserved more.
Oh, I'll tell you. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991. I went to America.
Yeah.
The other one that they turned around in like 6 months or something stupid using the old Gamorrean.
Yes, the Friar Tuck is the Gamorrean guard, isn't he?
I got him like the
there he is.
Gamorrean guard. 20 years ago. 20 years ago? No, probably not. Yeah, 20 years ago. I was in Norwich. And I found the carded Robin Hood Prince of Thieves in a bin in one of the toy stores in there. And I didn't pick any up. They were 50p. They were like nothing. And back then I was like, oh, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. Now, I love the movie. I was in America in 1991 and I went and saw a double bill of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves and Terminator 2. And then I went and watched Hook and Bill and Ted's. That was a good year. Is that all 91? I think it was, yeah. And I love Robin Hood. One of my favorite lines is he fancies you, my lady. I may be blind, but there are some things I can still see. That is like one of my top lines in any movie. Anyway, the figures were just like, people poo-pooed them because they used the Ewok village and it was all reuses. So I bought them all recently and they weren't expensive at all. And I looked at them and I was like, these are really good figures. Like the soft goods and there's like this marauder thing that has all the like soft goods and Robin's bows and quivers and arrows. It was just, they're really good. So I would say that's probably underestimated.
Underrated figure.
Underrated, thank you. Underrated. And I have them in a box, so they're underrated for me as well because I need to put them out. I have a space down there for that I'm going to do my Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. So
we can keep an eye out for that on the socials. There'll be a glorious picture of those up.
Yeah. I really like Robin Hood Prince, and I admire the designers at Kenner to turn this around so quickly. And it's something we do nowadays. You know, we'll go, there's an opportunity, let's go, and we'll just make it work. And you just kind of use all the tools you've got. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it.
I know. I was literally just watching you admiring your Friar Tuck Gamorrean guard.
His proportions are way out. Like. I admire just the audacity.
But they did. They just made it work. They were like, let's grab that. This is, Bryan Adams has got a song out. It's going to be massive. Everyone, let's go for it. Hey!
We're wasting valuable drinking time.
There he is, Friar Tuck. Steve, thanks, man. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate you coming on. I know your time is precious, and well, you're a busy boy, and I do appreciate you, man. So thank you so much. I'd love to get you back on the show and talk more about what you do. So we've delved into Hasbro as a whole, but there is a whole other side to Mr. Steve Evans and your own personal toy collecting journey that I'd love to touch on with you.
Happy to
Brilliant.
Chat. Have a good chat so I can rest afterwards.
Yes, let's go get those rests. Thanks so much, man. I'll catch you soon. Cheers, Steve. Bye. What a great guy. Steve, thank you so much for coming on the show. And yes, my word, I feel like we touched upon some of your history there and some of the stuff you've done and then worked through with Hasbro, but there's so much more stuff. You can catch Mr. Stevie 18 on Instagram. He's got so so much more to do with toys and collecting on his own personal side of things as well. So we'll get Steve on at a later date. But that is it for now. Thank you so much for listening. If you can, please like, subscribe, leave a review. That would be amazing. And I'll catch you all next time on Beyond the Comic Con.